starting a little early. Welcome everyone. Don't know if how the audio sounds. I'm sure someone will let me know, but we're gonna get going on this because it's a beautiful sunny day and my son was just putting his shoes on when I started this, so I'm hoping he can maybe come out and read some chat or ask some questions with me, but we'll see. Either way, I got to get this looked at, and it's been here a week or so and he wants to get it on Father's Day, so we're going to take a look at the valves, tail light. It doesn't start when it's hot. It will kickstart, but the electric start won't start when it's hot. And I heard some bubbling and gurgling, thinking that there might be some air in the cooling system and it was getting a little warm, or maybe, I don't know if the ECU reads that on this, or it could just be something expanding, solenoid, relay, starter motor, who knows, whatever it be. But once it cools down a bit, it starts right up. But it'll kickstart just fine when it's hot. So audio sounds fine, but it's a little quiet. All right. Does it help if I talk a little louder? Or the music should be background music, soothing for your tree. I'm trying to be quick-witted and I can't today. I'll turn up the mic a little bit here and see if that helps to -10. And we're just gonna rip into this thing. It shouldn't take too much to get to the valves, really. It's right there once the tank's off. So thanks for checking in, Westy, appreciate it. Audio sounds fine, but it's a little quiet. Maybe it's a little bit better here now, but we'll see how things roll. Pretty uneventful MMA night, eh, Westy? I mean, I shouldn't say that. It was somewhat eventful. I guess I just kind of checked out for, not checked out, but I stayed out of a lot of chats, and I was toast last night. I was just done. It was a long day and it's been a long week. But I love following and listening to all the MMA stuff. It's pretty good. A lot of stuff always happening. All right, so we're on that camera. Okay, we're gonna take the Hink off. So what's going on, everyone? Thanks for joining in. Hopefully Junior stops out here in a minute and he'll want to help or sit and read the chat because it's way over there. And yeah, I won't be able to see if one of my, well, I noticed like if somebody has 100,000 subscribers and they do a live chat, generally, yeesh, that hose is hard as can be. Like, it's pliable here, but up here it's really bad, so we'll have to do something about that. Seat's already off, sort of. Ooh, that was probably really loud. I don't know how good the microphone is. I know it's not good, so it might have not been that loud. This might be loud though, I don't know. Ooh, I can watch the, oh, that's really bad. What should I do about that? Just send it? Probably just you and me, Westy. I'm gonna send it. Let me know if it blows. That wasn't super, it's not so bad. I mean, it's a shop video, so if I don't, once I get some things figured out in life, I'll be able to afford a DJI mic or just any type of microphone better than the the 1990. That's the one thing I did buy that I didn't get for free to start this channel, so to speak. And don't worry, I won't put the bolts back in with the impact. Don't worry about that. What's Westy say here? I skipped the prelims to hang out at the river, then passed out, didn't watch a single fight. It's ended, I'm half deaf anyway. Yeah, probably from running the saws, eh? I know my neighbor, he's got a chainsaw that he thought the exhaust was restricted. So he just removed it. It's just straight piston to atmosphere. The loudest thing you've ever heard. Probably robs it of power as well, but it's really loud. Yeah, I didn't catch too much. I'm at Frankie's, and then oh, there was a lot of severe weather. Not a lot, I guess, but I follow a few severe weather chasers that are local to me, and really enjoy watching that. It really sucks though what happened down south the other day. Though a lot of people had some really bad things happen. I should probably lower this a bit, but I think I'm gonna here in a minute. Just catches a little bit there on that one lip, and in case the owner is watching, I don't want to, not that I wouldn't anyway, but I always act as if someone's watching. I want to do a good job. I wouldn't want someone tweaking my plastics, so I'm not going to tweak theirs. Nor will I put it back on with the impact again. I'll use a ratchet and my highly sophisticated fine-tuned torque wrench. All right, so now it should just I'm going to be careful not to set it on the petcock so it doesn't break stuff, pressure stuff, hurt stuff, as I just set it on the petcock gently. There. If it goes for a ride, it doesn't go for a ride off the bench. It is, it's so loud, it's so loud. I can be in the, like, it doesn't matter what kind of a house you have, you could be in a cave and still hear it, it's so loud. But he's been busy lately, so not a lot of chainsawing. We're gonna raise it and then lower it, because I gotta raise it to lower it. Oh, I gotta raise it. That's probably better. There, lower it down a little bit. We got some leaking, seeping, weeping, valve cover, rocker cover, gasket, seepage. So before we pop that cover off, I'm gonna grab an air hose and blow all of this area here and around this as best as I can, getting all of any debris that may be loose and fall in there prior to removing that to check our tolerances. But we'll take out the spark plug too, but before we do that, we'll blow that area out as well. Doesn't look like too much beyond that. I'm gonna leave the microphone over on my desk so I don't Awesome, thanks Westy. If it's not from Epidemic that's copyrighted and all the legalities that I can do it without getting struck, it's stuff I created using this thing called Suno. And then I'll use ChatGPT if it has lyrics, which lately a lot of the music or the videos, the last video or two I've done, I made my own songs, and I'll use ChatGPT to help tune the lyrics the way I want them. And then I'll say, okay, make these lyrics for Suno, paste it into Suno, and then tell Suno a bunch of details that you can really just tweak it. It's amazing. Hey Stan, how you doing today? Yeah, I think I was gonna do one last night, and then I had like 3 different ones scheduled this morning for different times, and the morning got away. I ended up finishing a 4-wheeler that we're not gonna do anything with until tomorrow, so that I should have just went live right away at 9 a.m. this morning when I was ready. But then my son too, I don't know what he's up to at the moment. So we're just gonna get this thing looked at, get all the issues addressed, and shut her down. But until then, here we are. Yeah, I was just telling my son, man, we used to get up every morning and get cleaned up, grab a bite of your breakfast, and head to Cars and Coffee. It used to be really close to us, and then they moved it because some people. I was 30 seconds away from witnessing like a real fight. And I didn't know it at the time, but I almost interjected in it. And I didn't know that what was about to happen was going to happen. And when I turned the corner, I guess everything blew up. But prior to that, I almost put my 40-year-old man like hat on and been like, hey kids, maybe you shouldn't say that to each other. This isn't the place for that. And I thought, you know what, my son's waiting for me in the car. Maybe I just keep my mouth shut and keep walking. And that's what I did. But maybe if I would have said something, because I was the elder and I was bigger than anybody in that crowd, and I would have just said, hey, listen, this isn't the place for this. Maybe I would have saved Cars and Coffee. Or maybe I could have ended up in a pool of my own blood and, you know, just jail. So oh yeah, there's a lot of those special ones there with the burnouts and causing an accident. Like, show off at the autocross and, you know, save the burnouts for your back road adventure with your buddy or whatever. Like, I'm all for doing a killer burnout, but come out here in the country and do them where you can only hurt yourself if you screw up, instead of some mom pushing her kid on the sidewalk. This was actually really chill for a long time. And then, yeah, like the one day, like I said, when I was leaving the Cars and Coffee, the last time we ever went, I was walking past this group of guys, and this one guy walked up to this other guy and he goes, how old are you? And he goes, 18 or whatever. He said his age, and he's like, good, because after I beat the crap out of you or something. And I'm like, oh, maybe it's just like his buddy, like, you know, messing around. Like, I didn't, it didn't look very standoffish. I certainly wasn't intimidated by any stretch of the imagination and just basically kept walking. But had I known what was going to unfold, so yeah, I turn the corner, I get in the car with my son, we leave, and we get home, and I jump on, or I see a notification on Facebook or something that the cops were called, big brawl at Cars and Coffee, and I'm like, what is going on? There's no way. Me and my son were just there. It was 20 minutes ago. And sure enough, I ended up talking to one of the guys, and crazy. So now there's a Ford dealership in the area that sponsors it, but it's all super tight, I guess, if you want to say that. So hey, Quick Shoe, hope you're doing good today. Hopefully the weather's somewhat decent where you're at and you'll be able to get out and put some miles on in some fashion. Yeah, just have common sense. Exactly. There was a guy with like an RX whatever rotary newer thing, and he was like, just sit there in the parking lot and rev limiter bounce it or two-step it or whatever you call it, and it was just absurd. And you know, you have a few of those, but generally they get told like by somebody who'll just nicely say, hey man, don't do that here, and then they just stop. So, but it was a lot of fun while it lasted. And yeah, most all people, and I don't want to say in general, because I like to think all the people that show up here are good people. Oh, I didn't take my microphone off. I thought I did, and then I hit it. I'm sorry. There are a lot of horrible people out there, but I like to think they're more good, and we're gonna beat all of that, and eventually, at least in the world that I create, it's gonna be full of good people, I hope. So. And then the bad ones we just don't interact with. But I'm going to leave my mic here on the desk and blow this all off with air, so hopefully y'all don't get too much noise. All right, microphone back on. I like your optimism. I used to share it before I became a hopeless misanthrope. Westy, yeah, I like this one too. The guitars. This one's definitely the AI Suno, I believe, or I could just tell you. This one might be a nope. This one gets No Future by Will Harrison. The current guitar one that just kind of, yeah, just a good, probably made more for like a clip rather than the long, maybe somewhat repetitiveness of it. But yeah, kick-ass guitar line. Epidemic has a lot of really good, choices. But I'm gonna start using Suno, I think, for everything. Jeepers. This is not, there we go. Because then I own it to a certain degree. I don't care if you use it. But it's nice to not have to worry about that. And I did see some, if you look real close, there's little signs of, I don't want to say leakage, but crustification. Some crustification happening, which would allow air introduced into the system, which some people would think, well, no, it's a cooling system, it's going to leak out, it's not going to suck in. But depending on pressures and levels and stuff, it does work that way. So that's a weak link to a plastic T in a cooling system. Maybe look into replacing that. I might check the hardware store and see if we have not a galvanized, but even just a new plastic T, I think would be something that's suitable. But yeesh, if that were to just get a crack in it, it would be done. We'll probably not have to touch it. So, but I am going to drain some coolant so we can take these hoses off and clean them. So there's no air in the system. Yeah, we should just take those 4 off and reveal our valves. Oh, we got to do the plug. I'm going to tell. I gotta text my son quick. I just told him if he can get his clothes in a room done, which basically just means put your dirty laundry in a clothes basket and then your room would be done, because that's all that's in there right now is dirty clothes in a 12-year-old room. I told him he could come out and ride the 125 because it's our quieter. That old bike? And I said yes, because I don't want him riding anything else. All right. What do we got? 8. I knew I grabbed, I was gonna have most of the tools ready, but never always do what you think you do. If anybody knows anything about this bike and where to get reliable parts, let me know, as this is the most, probably one of the most global morphodite. It's a good bike, but and I don't know too much of the history other than I know when it was made in 2009, 7. Let's see here, what is it exactly? A 2007 SM 510, or no, a TC 510. I should have put that, or it could be a TE 510. And the VIN says, the VIN says nothing of any of those digits. No SMTC or TE. You think it would certainly. And it also says Z for the first one. So where was it made in? Oh, right here. Italy. Varese. Varese. Varese, Italy. Varese. I don't know how to say that. And I still don't know what model it is. Oh, right here, TE. The TE 510 Torque Edition. She's got the torque. And the customer did say that they put some seafoam in the fuel tank, and you can smell it, and it's got like a film on the exhaust. And honestly, after 20 some years of doing this, the best thing you can do with anything is just nothing. Period. Like, just don't do anything. Don't put anything in it. Drain your carburetor, or plan on taking it to a shop every spring, or anytime you let it sit for more than 2 months. If you used anything with a hint of ethanol, or decided to put stable fuel, whatever it is, I need to get this warranted. My gears, I use this 8 a lot. It's wore out. So that's my opinion on fuel treatments. Just straight up don't use them. And drain your carb, empty your fuel tank, especially on something like this. And if you can, push it in your house for the winter. Like my neighbor Rob, just bring them in the house for the winter. Now we need to take the spark Medelio there. Lighting could be a little better, but you don't ever want to yank up on the wire, or at least I've always been told that. So I push up from way down here, and I'm just holding the boot. There we go. And now I need to blow that out again. Whoa, I gotta get back here. Bridazel. Oh my gosh, I'm bad with names. So welcome, good to see you. Thank you for joining. Bridazel. Brianna Ziegler. Well, thank you very much for checking in. Go back to OBS here and read. Okay, hello, welcome. I haven't tried to find Husqvarna parts for anything but a weed whacker, but I knew the company is Swedish, or was. Yes, in these years, this was actually made in Italy by a company called MV Agusta, which is known for really like cool, high-end motorcycles of what I believe like road racing applications. I don't know how much they played in the dirt in the past, but I do know that during this era, the 07, 08, 09, they were in bed with a bunch of other manufacturers. And you know, it's got a Sachs rear shock, Marzocchi forks, Brembo brakes, Kean carb. I don't know if the motor itself, like the castings and head and cylinder and stuff, was made by MV Agusta, or that could have also been outsourced, and then the frame welded and made by MV Agusta and assembled. So it's just a really when they break, they're done, because you just can't get stuff for these motorcycles in this era. But Husqvarna weed whackers, lawn equipment and stuff, it's a different company, so to speak, entirely. And even now, Husqvarna is a KTM, and KTM is owned by some other global conglomerate. So, yep, just Rec 90 ethanol. Yep, non-ethanol fuel. True, empty fuel tanks do tend to rust. In that case, get it lined. I line about 5 to 10 tanks a year on average. And there's only one liner I will use because there's just never a comeback. Now after what, 10, 12 years of using the same product. Maybe before I pass I'll see some comebacks, but Caswell is really a good fuel tank liner, so I really like Caswell. All right, cover your ears because I'm gonna blow this out quick. Or I'll cover the mic too. Sorry about that. A little. Of course, I didn't have that ready. Did get a few of the smaller tools ready, but I believe. Oh, of course. Of course. There it is. I wanted to get more tools put away. I wanted to do a lot of things. We got to get this looked at. That's priority one, and then a few other things wrapped up today. Ready for the week ahead. Let's see what I grabbed. I grabbed the wrong size, or is it just a little? I think I grabbed the wrong size, like a goon. Oh, look at here. This is the best. I got a new plug, so I'll use that to size the socket and be right back. Then there's no guesswork, unless it's the wrong plug, which CR8EB. Okay, so it's just your standard. I, for some reason, thought it was 14 or 15, a little. Not just your standard, good old-fashioned 5/8 plug. And the socket I grabbed is too long and too... Hey, at least we're onto the right size. Here we go, the old thin wall snap-on. Like a glove, there we go. And then we need to take off this decompression release. Get it out of our way. And it might need to be fiddled with during the clearance check. Not too bad. Yeah, it just smells like sea foam, and the pipe has like a weird film, so I'd really like to dump all this fuel into my car, a lawnmower, or something that's gonna burn it quick, and go get some premium wrecked recreational fuel. All right, so now we'll put this up here. We'll get this off out of our way, and then this should be ready to be able to sneak that out of there. Check the chat quick. Junior could be out here doing this. Yes, the GM top engine cleaner we used to use back in the day for decarb issues on direct injected engines. They would pull the plugs and like dump this top engine cleaner, and then you crank the engine over, let it sit for 4 or 6 hours or whatever, and then take it out and just flog it and just pound the thing, and it would smoke crazy. Yes, I believe the original like Husqvarna, all their lawn equipment and stuff has stayed Swedish to a degree. But this whole motorcycle thing, and now recently their Husky is just a KTM with a different, like a carbon subframe and a few other little trick tidbits. But during this era, it was a really, that's why I put a ticking time bomb, because they just really are. If something, I had a 250 brought out here to the shop a few years ago, and it had dropped a valve, so it needed a piston. Does this pop out, or I don't know. Looks like a pre-made. Ooh, that is as hard. That's like that really hard plastic. We'll just stick with that, and then we'll deal with that in a minute. Yeah, they brought it out, just the same bike, identical to this bike, TE 250 though. And the engine was locked up, so I took the side cover off, and I don't know, the timing was all screwed up. One or two of the set of these valves didn't move when you rotated it, and then so I used a boroscope too and looked in the piston. It looked like that may have incurred some damage, and at the time I was, and like now, always in need of a little funding, and sold it for like $600 or whatever. I got my money out of it for labor. The customer just said, yeah, just sell, just do whatever. I can't do anything with it, so that's what happens. Okay. Well, we're gonna have to take this off. Will it let me unthread it without? Oh yeah, it moves. Okay, I thought it was maybe connected. It's just a little stuck. Don't want to bind up or break anything we can't. There. It's like right there. There we go. There she goes. The old El Compression release. Okay, now this thing here, I kind of wanted to put a flat head underneath, or just, oh, there we go. Okay. Oh, that is really brittle feeling plastic, like what Ford uses on everything under their hood. They should make special glasses so when you pop the hood, you don't break the plastic looking at it, because it's literally that fragile in some situations. It's not gonna last. There. I'm gonna get a rag and kind of go, and there's a few, I don't know, I just don't want any. We blew a lot of that off. It probably looks worse than what it is. that. Yeah, just barely touching there. I bet you it's got to come off on this side and we have to take the cooling hoses off, but should have probably checked that out before I started since that service manual is sitting right there. Let's just do that anyway because I don't want to have to tweak those hoses, and we know they have to come off since they're all corroded there anyway, so we'll just leave that. Get a clear container for the coolant and find out where we can drain that, which this looks like a good spot right here on the cylinder. No timing stuff on this side. Almost guarantee you that that's what that is, just because but watch, it's like the that's probably for checking your engine oil level, I would guess. But again, we can refer to the service manual, which is in Swedish or whatever origin they Swedish, I would believe. Swedish. Then we don't have to torque it out or tweak anything and just do it the right way. So we'll get a drain pan and drain that quick. I'll pop off the radiator cap so it goes all over the place when we undo that nut, bolt. Well, it's a wee bit low. I can hear it in there, but I don't see it. So, got that going. Not necessarily a positive thing, but yeah, this is a good tune. I always like this one. What is it, 8 probably? I will not use an impact on a aluminum cylinder to take out the bolt. Will not do it. Others might. We're not gonna do it. But we're gonna get stuff everywhere. Hey buddy, what's up? Really dirty. Put some lotion on those arms, dude. You got sunburnt bad. So, what are you up to? Okay. Yep, whatever you can see on the camera is what you can see, or they can see, or anybody. I'm just gonna drain the coolant and get it all over. Probably. Hopefully not. Oh, it's gonna. Oh yeah, there we go. Ooh. It should be clear. This is, yeah, should be a little clearer than this. Now it's gonna hit the engine and go everywhere. But we'll catch it just so we got a sample to, we're not gonna reuse this by any means, but yeesh. Yeesh. Where's that? There's a white towel that I had for, please, help me find it. It's right where you were standing, right next to it, bud. There we go.
These almost go flush.
Oh yeah, you gotta, like, you got stuff all over your mouth. Okay, well, what do you mean flush with the ground? Not flush, it sits about 4 to... Yeah. Boy, I didn't think it was gonna get that crazy. Guess it really didn't, but a little bit more than I wanted. Almost ready to check the valves. And then if they need to be adjusted, we'll see what kind of shims they use. And from what I saw doing some research, they look to be the same shims I have. So we should be in a good spot in that regards. Will you go over and read the chat and see if there's any new chats, please, Amat? Right there can help me out a little bit that way. That'd be awesome. No, it's right there. The chat. Ian is the last one. He says, I speak Swedish, so if you need a translation of anything. Oh, that would be cool. That would be cool. Hopefully we don't, but if we do, I'll be reaching out. Also, when is the date for that vintage semi-truck show in Madison or in Dane County or the Milwaukee, Oshkosh? I thought you were going to be headed up this way to that. I'm talking to Stian. He's got a really cool bus he just bought. He's in Florida. And I think he's going to drive it up here, or wanted to, or bring another. The washer's still there still. But I know that that's coming up, and I know you would love to go to that, bud. Well, I think it's in Madison, or near Madison, in a field, because it's like May, June 5th. Okay, well, yeah, that's like in 2 or 3 weeks, but cool. And that's where all your the semis that you talk about, son, would be? No, it's like old vintage stuff. Probably a lot of modded stuff, I would assume, but maybe. I don't know how modded. Maybe, but I wouldn't know too much about modifications on older semis and bigger trucks. I mean, to me, a lot of it might look like, oh, that looks stock, but beat up from what, working? Oh, wow. Oh, on that KX? Oh, right. Is it pretty bad? Oh, just like right there, wiggly? Wiggly, or really? Okay, we're just gonna slide that off. Nice. Slide this one down. Oh, cool. Some modded trucks as well as preserved equipment. Very cool. All right, now that that hose is out of our way, this may just slide out this way, or it may not. Maybe it just does go this way and I needed to be more patient. I'm just gonna peel this down gently because I don't think it's gonna clear the cam gears. The half moon on the valve cover seal is what's ultimately holding us up. There. Come on. Barely. You little bugger. There it goes. Boy, that's a... I have to find a different game plan for putting that puppy back on. What is that made out of? Unobtainium. Just aluminum. Good old. A little leaking a little bit there. Now we can see in here. What's up? It'll leak right out. It'll overheat and then leak out. Like, it needs to have a new, it's just such a simple seal too. It would take us like 10-15 minutes to pop it in. No, you just got to pop off the water pump side, and as long as we don't damage the gasket, it should be fine. Oh gosh, no, not a crank seal. Yeah, that would be a big deal. No, it would literally, if you just pushed it outside there and started on it, but you'd need to move all the stuff in front of it first. If who says what? Oh, if any. Stian, our current member. Hopefully everybody else is out riding motorcycles and doing... I know, I can't believe someone threw that away. But I just tried plugging it in and it works. Yeah, but I mean, maybe it doesn't for a long time, but really nice trim saw. And just don't push it over the metal piece, please, on the air hose. See the air hose? Oh yeah, a custom sign. Oh, like something you'd hang in your room. Yeah. Oh, that'd be cool. That would be really cool. Huh? Yeah, it's tiny compared to this bike. Yeah. What is this? The pipe is cracked. And then it's like siliconed a wee bit. Literally like cracked. Yeah. Crazy, I've never seen that. Uh-huh. Flipper, something to flip. If you have more yard, you could mow up at Rob's. because I'll be done with this shortly, but I can't be interrupted once I get these feeler gauges out. I just really wanted to get this done so I know if I got to set the valves or not and kind of go from there. Okay, bud? All right, I'm just going to watch the cams and see where the piston's at. Well, I could just put a, we're going to see where the piston's at, I meant to say, and then watch the cams. Please, bud. You just take off those 4 8mm bolts and it's right there.
This?
Yeah, just that cover.
5.
I don't know, there might be even more. I don't know the exact number. Did they try to glue the muffler back together? Oh, sorry, I was maybe just not talking very loud there, and it's like the music died back out. It looks like they did, or tried to seal it with some sealant.